Okay, let's try an example involving multiple choice questions on an exam. Now, you should recognize now that each of these problems involve the same procedure over and over and over again, identifying N, P, and S and putting them into the calculator. So identifying N, P, and S is often the hardest part. A student is going to guess at the answers to all questions on a 5-question multiple choice test where there are 4 choices for each question. Calculate the probability of guessing 3 correct answers, which means success is 3. Guessing 5 correct answers means success is 5. Guessing at most 2 correct answers, at most 2. We have to figure out what that means in terms of successes. Guessing at least 4, and we have to figure out what at least 4 means in terms of successes. Okay, so we have four different questions basically. We have 4 different probabilities for each of these. Okay, how many trials are there in this binomial experiment? How many times are you guessing on this test? Okay, so if the student is going to guess all the answers, or rather guess answers to all the questions, and there are 5 questions, there are going to be 5 guesses and therefore 5 trials. Okay, so you have to recognize that the number of guesses is the number of trials here, which is 5. 5-question multiple choice test, 5 trials, 5 guesses. There are 4 choices to each question. That's going to help us figure out what the probability of success is on a single trial. If we want to find the probability of getting 3 correct, the number of successes is 3. And if we want to find the probability of getting all 5 correct, the number of successes would be 5. The probability of success on a single trial, which means what's the probability that a student guesses correctly on a single question? And the answer to that is 1/4, because each question has exactly 4 choices and 1 correct answer. 1 out of 4. 1/4 is the probability of success on a single trial, a single guess of that test. So we have N equal 5, P equal 1/4, and for part A, S, the number of successes, is 3. So we go to our calculator and we enter N trials 5, P 1/4, and X value, or S, as 3. And you should get 0.0879, 8.79%. Okay, the next part, all we're doing is changing the value for the number of successes from 3 to 5. Okay, so S changes from 3 to 5, so on your calculator when you enter N, P, and S, just change the S to a 5, and you get scientific notation again. 9.766 times 10 to the negative 4, which means we're going to move that decimal place 4 places to the left and pad the places with zeros, which gives us 0.0009766. You have to be careful with the rounding here. You go to the 4th place, and then you go to the 5th place, and you recognize that it's a 7, which is 5 or more. So that 9 in the 4th place becomes 10. So the rounded answer is 0.0010. As a percent, that is 0.1%. Okay, so you should get a feel now for why it's a bad idea to guess all the time. Getting 3 correct, which is about 60%, pass maybe roughly a grade of a D. Getting 3 correct, the probability of that happening is 8.79%. Not a very high probability at all. But the probability of getting every one correct, 0.1%. So you should recognize that guessing is bad news. It's not the way to go. Okay, the next part's at most 2 correct, and we have the other one with at least 4 correct. At most 2, you should recognize that as 0, 1, or 2 correct. At most 2 means 0, 1, or 2. So what we're going to do is the same strategy that we used on the previous problem involving at most. We're going to find the probability of 0, find the probability of 1, find the probability of 2, and add the 3 probabilities up. Now, I'm going to show you a shortcut on the calculator for this because we don't have to do 3 individual problems and add up 3 numbers. We can do this in one shot on the calculator. Okay, we should note though, however, that the n and the p part of the equation is still 5 for the number of trials and 1/4 for the probability. Okay, now we're going to look at a success of 0, a success of 1, and a success of 2. So let's look at the calculator. Second, DISTR, letter A. 4 trials, we're going to change that to a 5. P, we're going to change that to a 1/4. X value, we'll keep it at 0 and paste. Okay, before you hit enter, you see your cursor flashing right here. Press the plus key. We're going to add another binomial probability right here. So we're going to do second, DISTR. We're going to go down to A again. Hit enter. Everything stays except the 0 becomes a 1. Go down to paste, hit enter, and now it's on your home screen, but we have one more thing to add. So plus again, second, DISTR, go to Binomial PDF, and change the 1 to a 2. Paste it. Okay, those 3 things are on your home screen. It did scroll off the page here, but it's okay. We know they're still there. We're going to hit enter now. Okay, and our answer is 0.8965. 0.8965. Almost 90%. That's a pretty good probability. Okay, so you can do it in one step on the calculator, which I encourage you to do so you have less copying of numbers, and I don't want that to be a confusion for you. And so we have our answer 0.8965 or 89.65%. So you should recognize that that's a really high probability, which means that the probability of you getting at most 2 when you guess on 5 questions is almost 90%. Okay, so let's take a look at least 4 correct. At least 4. Recognize that that means 4 or 5, which means we're going to go to our calculator and add up the probability of getting 4 correct plus the probability of getting 5 correct. N and P are the same. It's still 5, still 1/4. We're going to change the X value from before to 4, and then we're going to add the same thing with an X value of 5. So we go to our calculator. Second, DISTR, Binomial PDF, okay, we're changing X value to 4 and pasting it, and then plus second, DISTR, change change the x value to 5, paste it, and enter. Okay, so when we added them together, the sum of the probabilities is 0.0156. 0.0156. Also, a very small probability. Okay, 0.0156, 1.56%. The probability of you getting at least 4 correct when you guess on a 5-question multiple choice test is 1.56%.